Today I'm working on my 1967 Chevy Caprice. I'm trying to remove the gauge cluster from the dashboard. My speedometer, I think the speedometer head is bad. So I didn't find anything else on YouTube, so I thought I'd make a quick video, make it easier for the next guy that does this. First thing, I took off the bezel that goes around the whole thing. That's pretty easy. It's just 8 or 10 screws that go all the way around. Took that off, put it out someplace in the garage already. I also took off the bezel for the radio. I took the radio out. I'm going to replace that soon too. Then the next thing, you have to take off the clear, which is pretty crappy condition. I think those are like 1/16 screws, and there's all around this, they're like hex head. There's like 8 or 10 of them. They were across the bottom, and then there's a couple of them across the top that releases this clear lens. You can see the holes there, there. So it looks like there was 4 at the top and probably 4 at the bottom. So you get those out, and then that clear lens will come off pretty easy. To get the gauge cluster to come out, you're actually going to have to take off the 4. I think they were 9/16 bolts, nuts at the bottom of the steering column. It's a saddle right here. So there's 2 on each side. Take off those 4 nuts, and the steering column will actually drop down a little for you. You're going to need to do that. And then the next thing, I took the bottom cover, plastic cover. There's 4 screws that drops down. And then the next thing to take off is this thing here, and I only found it very difficult. There's actually 4 screws. I mean, there's 2 screws. There's one there, and then there's one on the other side. And you can get to them. You can see the hole there and the hole on the other side. You can get to them by sticking a screwdriver right down that alleyway to that spot there. It's a Phillips screwdriver, one on this side, one on that side. And then this will pull up, and you can swing it to the side. And then there is probably 8 screws that screw the instrument cluster into the chassis. I think there's 4 at the bottom, and there's like 4 at the top, I think. And then it's going to be loose. You can see it's a little bit loose. You'll have to reach back and unplug your clock, and then also unscrew the speedometer cable from the back of the speedometer. And also there's a pinch connector. I'll take this out of the way now. This is your main harness to your cluster. You got to reach back while it's still in there, and you got to pinch these things, and it pulls straight out of that, the harness. It goes right in here. So pull that out, unscrew this. There was just a slip-on wire. Pull off that. There was like a light connector here, but it was hardwired to the chassis somewhere, so I had to quarter turn that, pull that one out. And then over here on this side, there is a ground wire. You disconnect that ground wire, and then your gauge cluster is loose and free. You can get it out. Probably for the next guy to do this, it's probably less than a 1-hour job. I think 35-40 minutes or so to get the whole thing out. I'm probably going to go check all these bulbs afterward, make sure everything is working, and lubricate everything really good. Because like I said, I got to take my now I have to take this rear cover off and take my speedometer out and take it to the speedometer shop and see why it's not working. I think the speedometer head is bad, or gears are bad or something. So anyway, just thought I'd do a quick video. This is a 67 Chevy Caprice, so it's probably the same as the Impala Bel Air Biscayne, and maybe the 67, so maybe a 68 also would use the same gauge cluster. I'm not sure. So anyway, I just thought I'd put this up on YouTube. Maybe it'll help someone else out when you're doing the same job. Thanks, have fun.